Peace and blessings, everybody. It's January the 7th, the year 2019. I have a letter from Gary Michael Northington. He's been in prison since January the 21st, 1987. That's nearly 32 years. Officer Jack McLam advocated for Gary Michael Northington. He has similar charges to Schaefer Cox in that they say he was conspiring to murder people. But Gary has maintained his innocence, and he was exposing child auctions where people were auctioning off children. He wrote a book called Satanic Deception, which is very similar to the book by John W. DeCamp called The Franklin Cover-Up. And because Gary Michael Northington was exposing these child auctions, they had to shut him up. And they put him in prison for conspiracy to murder charges. There is no victim. Nobody was ever murdered. They just said he was about to murder somebody, or he was conspiring to murder, which is exactly what they said about Schaefer Cox. And it's not true. I believe Gary Michael Northington is innocent. I believe he's an American political prisoner. He's been in prison for over 32 years. He has a lot of writings that we've posted on his page on Year of Jubilee. Jubilee is spelled with one E. And I pray that you go read his writings. The writing that came in today is 3 pages long. I'm about to read it. If you don't want to hear me read it, you can go download it. It's at the bottom of his page. It's dated today, January the 7th. Now, I did not ask him to write about this topic. It must be a popular topic, and he just decided to write about it. Although I agree with Gary Northington's position. So, if you want to hang around, we're going to read the letter. From Gary Michael Northington, 193035. It says, my letter to Rudy and Aaron is at the end. But he first addresses the letter to Nancy Pelosi, representative, and then gives her Washington, D.C. address and her phone number. And then he starts off the letter to Nancy Pelosi by saying, Dear Beltway Crap Weasel. And then if you jump, he puts an asterisk by that. And if you jump down to the bottom of the letter, the asterisk says, a term of endearment from those who love you. Okay, and then he goes on to write, because of my situation with many who have illegally crossed the southern U.S. border, they are members of groups such as Azatlan, La Raza, Mecca, Sorinos, other gangs, and jihadists. The Hispanic gangs say they are infiltrating all areas of the United States for reconquista of the 5 southwestern states and overthrow of the relevant state governments. The jihadists clearly say they intend to destroy and overthrow the federal government of which you are part. These drastically different groups formed alliances wherein they work together. They say, my enemy's enemy is my friend. Their present covert training will later be overt actions. They say, they see me as a fellow POW. They see me as a fellow prisoner of war. The illegal Hispanics and jihadists, treated as one here, say those who support their open border agenda are useful idiots and dumb MFers who will be dead in the end. They depend on false ideas that legals will not report them to police to gain footholds with legislators. When illegal alien gangs are given sanctuary, then both legals and good illegals. Let me read that again. When illegal alien gangs are given sanctuary, then both legals and good illegals are afraid to report crimes. Most good people are afraid to report crimes when gangs of illegals have sanctuary, such as in your California district. They will wait until they have sufficient persons to go to war. I am an electronics expert who designed and used electronic security and surveillance systems for 30 years. A drone only surveils a few hundred feet at a time, so coyotes and human traffickers need only watch until drones pass to cross an open border. Such technology often fails in bad weather. Only a fence of steel and sometimes concrete with hardwired detection devices works with any efficiency. Such steel fence delays illegals long enough for the Border Patrol to get them after being detected. The new security fence at San Diego cut illegal border crossings down to 10% of prior levels. Added detection devices to such security fence will increase police safety and simplify their job. Illegal aliens cost the U.S. about $250 billion every year. That's 25% of the average yearly budget deficit since 2008. $5.7 billion is a pittance for a new security fence that would save we the people trillions in budget deficit. It's your choice to be a financial and security wizard in the eyes of we the people by protecting the southern U.S. border or being a victim of the jihadist and Reconquista terrorist if they ever get their civil war planned together. God bless. Sincerely, Gary M. Northington. And then at the bottom of his letter to Nancy Pelosi, he writes a letter to us, myself and my wife. Dear Brother Rudy and Sister Erin, thanks for your New Year's hope and blessing. I enjoyed the Texas joke. If you guys didn't hear the Texas joke, maybe I should tell it really quickly here, but I sent this joke to pretty much every prisoner that we communicate with. There was a gentle Texas lady. She was driving across a high bridge in Austin, and she came across a young man who was about to jump. And she opened her door and said, "Young man, please don't jump." Well, he was fixin'. You know, fixin' is a Texas word. It means you have the capability and you might take action. And so she noticed he was fixin' a jump. So you got to understand the word fixin'. But anyway, she said, "Please don't jump. Think of your dear, sweet mother and father." And he said, "My mother and father are dead. I'm going to jump." And then she said, dear young man, please don't jump. Think of your wife and your precious children." He said, "I'm not married and I don't have any kids. I'm going to jump." And then she said, then just remember the Alamo. Whereupon the young man replied, What's the Alamo?" And then she said, "Well, you just go ahead and jump, you liberal, left-leaning, CNN-watching Yankee. You're holding up traffic." So that's a Texas joke. You probably wouldn't get it if you're not Texan. And I don't know if I told it perfectly, but you got the gist of it. Anyway.
Go check out that video that's going on live in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, there's a video in Pittsburgh going on live right now that appears to be where people are standing up for their Second Amendment. Anyway, he said, "I enjoyed the Texas joke and had to chuckle and smile about the Yankee leftist. Get the jump on, and he can take half of Congress with him, too. I hope you like my letter to the Beltway crap weasel." I did like it, Gary, and I appreciate you mailing that to me. Should I have piled on the fly attractor, cow pies, or was honey the best way? I felt honey might further inflate her grossly oversized ego. Hey, I also don't have faith in the satanic legal system, which is based on the ancient Babylonian merchant code. Paul used it with King Agrippa, etc. However, I use it because those who have authority therein and fail to act in truth and love of God are condemned to everlasting punishment where the fire does not go out. Matthew 16:19. I've seen at least 31 evildoers who intended me harm fall due to sincere prayer and sometimes fasting with prayer. I am God's warrior in both name and action, like the one on the pale horse. Gary means warrior. Michael is a warrior. Revelation 19. Regarding POM Mafia, I think that's Potomac Mafia, number 14. If you look at Gary's letters that we've uploaded to Year of Jubilee, we got POM Mafia like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. He's referring to 14 here. I requested Corazon doctors to answer. Why did you do diagnostic testing? Why did you not do diagnostic testing to determine the cause of the allergic reaction? Dr. Badawidikadur Abdelitaf, Dearborn, Michigan, said he did not understand due diagnostic testing and allergic reaction. They are evasive with answers in court as they are with putting facts in medical records. John 8:42 through 47. I was overwhelmed with the amount of mail in your photo. I hope my P.O. Mafia number 14 did not overload you. I sent it by email because 11 emails is less than 32 pages of hard copy. I hope you figured out the order in which I numbered the 11 emails of P.O. Mafia number 14 because my readout shows JPay or MDOC sent them out of order from my numerical arrangement. Deborah Cochran of Arizona sent me a letter, but Michigan Department of Corrections shredded the part with her address. Can you give me her snail mail address or forward an email so I can thank her for the Christmas card? So I'll have to check with Deborah before I do that. I don't normally give out people's addresses, but I'll have to check with Deborah. The funds my brother sent in November went fast because of institutional debts of court filings aided up for legal mail. I charged because of the missing August 20th money order. He is now tracking down the money that vanished on August the 20th, 2018. GTL Financial cashed the postal money order, but MDOC never put the EFT electronic funds transfer into my account. I've wanted for months to sing Lion of Judah like the other two songs. When I get sufficient funds, I'll put something on my phone account and call you. Thanks for all your help and godly love from the family of Christ. I do think Gary Michael Northington is an American political prisoner. I think he served his country in the military. I think he spoke up about child sex auctions, and he was exposing satanic ritual abuse by Satanists, and they hated this man and they had to put him away. Officer Jack McLam advocated for him in his newsletter, Aid in a Bed, and I think we should also advocate and write to Gary and let him know that we have not forgotten about him. We appreciate his testimony and the life that he is living, which glorifies God. Thank you for your time.